there. We get 2 people on Zoom. Let's see if we're going to get some more. James and Landon. Okay. So let's go back and verify the roster. See who is still here. Oh. Darian. Didn't see him there. Darian is not on the list. Okay. So Valentine. And Valentine actually dropped the course. Lionel. Lionel, I see you there. Good. When you see an X going through your head there, that means we chopped you up. No. Dropped you out. Zephyr. Got you, Zephyr. You're not on the list. Good. Is that Haven? Haven. Heaven. Nick is not on the course. Michelle. I know he's in the class. He's already on homework too. Lou. Lou got you. You're here. You're not on the list. Good. I'm just checking, and I'm here. And Dinal. Owen in on the course. Abdul Karim. I had you not attending too. I gotta notify them now. I was looking to see how often you connected to Blackboard if you're checking. So if you don't connect to Blackboard or you looked like for less than 5 minutes, I put you not attending. But we'll add you back there. Louis. Louis, you here? Okay, good. Kyle. Got you, Kyle. Willow. Got you. Jennifer. Jennifer L. I had Jennifer not attending. Grace. Grace, you got you. I got 2 more people. I got to check and see. Fabiola. Got you, Fabiola. Ali. Ali, not here. Here's one I put not attending. Devon. Devon, you here? Alexis. Alexis, not here. Jordan. Jordan? Jordan. Danielle. Got you. Danielle. Got you. My eyes are bad. That's the only thing with my age. My hearing is phenomenal, but my eyes are horrible. Oyang Sola. I'm going to put your name, Yang Sola, a few times. Landon Smith. Landon.
On the Zoom.
Oh, here's the name I'm waiting for. Muhammad. Muhammad, I put him not attending. So he's still not attending. Okay. You guys on Zoom there, did we miss your name, anything?
I just have a question. Are the labs optional? Do we do like separate lab materials or just cover class material?
No, in the labs, we do not teach anything. In the labs, we answer questions.
All right. I mentioned I'd be there for
Yeah,
the
okay.
homework question. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, the lab time is, there is no lecture in the lab. I don't do any of the stuff. The lab is just to answer questions if people have any questions for me, you know. Okay, a question came up about the homework today. I don't want to get out of this, so let me just share my desktop with everyone, so everyone get to see the whole thing. It doesn't matter what section you are in. One thing about this room here, like a little monitor there, and everything's pushed in all over. So it's like when you're on a plane and you're sitting in the middle seat and you have a 600 pounds on the left and 300 pounds on the right, and you feel like you can't move. That's how I feel like with the laptop, you know?
Mr. Haddad, you
Yes,
have me listed as absent, but I'm in the Zoom here.
you're here. If you, as long as you know what? Just to clarify a few things, the class or the Zoom is the same thing. So if you're in the Zoom or in the class, you're fine. You know, if you don't attend either one, I'm not going to punish you if you're doing your work. There is no punishment for that if the work is done. So, for example, if you're working, I don't want you taking time off from work and losing money. Go to work, watch the videos later. It's going to be recorded anyway. So, but I'm doing the attendance today. Who was that on that attendance that I might have put you out?
My name is Landon.
Landon, okay. I'll take care of that, Landon. Okay. But again, all these meetings I have for you, you can't really attend them all. But I invite you, like if you want to attend them all, God bless you. I have no problem with it. I'm going to be in the room talking if it's one person or 200 people. So if you want to come to all the labs and ask questions, you can. I'll tell you what, for the lab, when I walk in at like I think Monday and Wednesday lab is 1:35. If 1:45, nobody's still there, I just shut it off. I go, nobody's coming. I'm not just going to sit there and stare at the monitor. So if you have questions, be there sharp at 1:35 so I can answer the questions. Because if I look and I'm connected for 10 minutes and I don't see a single person, I go, they're not coming. I'll close it. Tuesday lab is at 11 o'clock. You know, I try to give labs like morning and afternoon to give people options if they can, if they need to have questions or, you know, they have something for me. Now, for the homework assignment, that was actually a homework assignment. If you look at week 2, really this course is set up to run online. I have a lot of stuff for you up there. If you log into any week, so for example, I'll go to week 2. That's last week. It shows you the learning objectives, what we're supposed to learn this week. This is what we're supposed to learn. Then I have week 2 videos. And click on them. Come on. There we go. Expand. And there's video 1, video 2. Our class from last Wednesday, I posted there. Notes, video notes. I got lots of them. They're not long. I try to keep them short, a little quick. For example, C++ programming. And there's a sample program. I just put a sample. Then I'm explaining each piece right next to it. Now, notice this piece here of that program. This is a sample run. When you compile your program, execute and run it, you should see this one. So I'm trying to explain what each piece is, what will happen if you do this. If you write these numbers and you run it, this piece here, what is C out? These are to show you the output, the result of the program. See out means show me, print it. So that's what this one, display the result. I had the course actually designed before, and I had, no lie, probably 500 to 600 pages, every single thing you can want to know about C++. Unfortunately, we went to this setup, it's called the Ultra, which is not bad, but I found my class was only 5% accessible. So for people who are blind or with disability, my class was not good. So I had to retype the entire course. So I spent about 100 hours redoing. So I didn't put as much as the older one, but there's enough information because like it will take me a year to redo the whole thing if I want to do it. If you want to add comments to your program, which is I'm big on that. If you click on this one, explain to you how do you put a comment. You put the double slash, you know? You can write comments. The reason you want to do comments in your program, I can tell you, when you get a job in real life, you never write a program by yourself. You're working with so many other people. So they want to read they want to know what you were thinking. Just like when I go to correct your homework, I have no idea what was in your brain there at that time when you wrote these lines. So it's nice to put comment. This section of the program does this. This section does that. It makes it easy on me. You know, it also makes it easy on you when you look at the program a year from now going, I remember doing something like this. So I'm just showing you different ways I put comments in the program here. Yep. I can tell you sometimes the comments and the people who do programming for living, their comments actually more than the actual program. There's more lines of comments than the program. My problem, I type with one finger. Figure 42 years of teaching, maybe I learned to type. No, still type with one finger. So I don't put as much. These are some of the reserve words that you can't use. C++ uses these. There's plenty more. I'm just giving you a sample. Simple data type. When you go to use a variable, you define what kind of data you're going to put in. Just to show you here, let me just minimize this one. You're going to see me to define something. So let's define. So let's talk about this. When something is Boolean, means it can have a value true or false. That's it. So if there's a location, it's going to hold a Boolean value for me. It's going to be true or false. When something is defined as a byte, that's 8 bits, one single byte. If it's character, that's a 1 byte, like the letter A, your middle initial, N, M for male, M, or Michael, initial there. That's a single character. You use actually 16 bytes. 16 bits, 2 bytes. When something is defined as short, these are for integer values. That's 2 bytes. Integer, 4 bytes, 32 bits. So the machine is taking 4 of these bytes. Remember when you buy a machine, so my machine has 32 megabytes of RAM. Well, 32 megabytes quickly can fill them. 32. Each one of these is 4 bytes. Each integer value. So if I don't need to do an integer value, might as well make it as short. Look at the size of the number. If something is defined as a byte, it's an integer value, like between -128 and 127. So for example, if you're going to read somebody's age, do you know of any person on this earth that's older than 127 years of age? I don't think we have anyone. So there's no reason to say that person's going to be short or an integer value, because you're going to use 4 bytes, but you can use only 1 byte. If you're going to do somebody's income, well, short is not good enough. There's a lot of people who make more than 32,000. If you're going to use this one, that's 2 billion. It's good, unless you have Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Then we got a problem. Because this can hold up to 2 billion, 147 million, whatever, 483,006. Is that number? Yeah. Or 2 trillion. Is that 2 trillion? Yeah. Let's see, what is the comma here? The comma.
6 zeros.
Yep. That'll be a comma here. That's a million. That's a billion. Yeah, in the billion there. If you define something as long integer, doesn't matter. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, whatever, we can still use them there. These are integer values. Look how big the number is. Decimal value, we use float. Float, that's 4 bytes. Single precision, 7 decimal digits, 7 decimal places. If you want to carry more than 7 decimal places, then you're going to use double for that. So that's in this section. I'm trying to give you an example here. ASCII code. All these computers that you see in front of you, we use the ASCII code. American Standard Code of Information Interchange. That's really what that ASCII code is. The reason for that, to make sure if you have something on your thumb drive or on a CD, which nobody uses CDs anymore, but if you have something on a thumb drive and you plug in my computer, I should be able to read it. If you move it to a different computer made by Acer, instead of my machine is made by Dell. Maybe your machine is made by Apple. You should be able to read that one. That's because we all speak the same language, basically. We're using the ASCII code. Who doesn't use the ASCII code? Defense Department, the government. Because they want to make sure when people leave that work there and they have stuff on their thumb drive, they don't go home, plug it in, and they pull the information out. That information is worth billions and millions of dollars to some countries. First, you can't leave actually work without anything with anything with you. You scan from head to toe to make sure there's nothing walking away with you, but people still manage to take them. They take these little thumb drives and they swallow them, you know, to exit with them. You're not supposed to use any of that stuff there, so.
Even most non-defense companies, they don't really allow.
No, nothing,
You're not really
nothing.
allowed. Okay.
No, because, I mean, if you're doing some research for a company, take a pharmaceutical company, you're on the edge of finding a cure for cancer, and you know what the compound chemistry for that. You take that information, give it to Eli Lilly or some other company who is your competitor there, instead of Pfizer now, and they can make millions. Oh, we found a cure for cancer. So there's stuff a lot of times you're not allowed to. If something is string, that's like a name, you're reading a name, that's you're going to put in double quotation for the name, like Z Haddad, Smith, you know, you write that in double quotation. The position, this is 10 digits long. The position of Z is in the 0 location. The first one's always the 0. Now, E, the first E in location 1, the second E in location 2, the space now, that's location 3, which is space. H is in location 4. So when you save them, if you want to go location by location, location 0, location 1, location 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go, keep going. And that was homework 1. So let's just write a program. Let's begin by writing a program. But then I'll lose my attendance sheet here. Now, if you downloaded the program, you should have an icon on your desktop. And the icon will look like this. If you double click on that, give it about a minute, and C++ is going to open. On the first homework assignment, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's the name?
Yao.
Yao. Yep.
Yao. Yeah.
Let's see. What happened here? Come on. There we go. When you go to start a program, you're going to start with a blank sheet like this. So the first thing you want to do to start the program, you're going to click File, New, and Source. Not a project, it's Source. Source file. File, New, Source file. Actually, what I should have done first, let me minimize this one. If you right-click on your desktop here, anywhere here on it, find an empty spot, right-click. Right-click. There's a new option. Create a folder so you can put all your stuff in it. Instead of throwing stuff all over. Sometimes I see a student, I just came from Springfield College, I teach color classes for them, and I was teaching Java, and this kid was working on that assignment. Let me see it. I don't know what I saved it. I go, let me look. Well, he has about 500. I said, do you use them all? Are these expired? Because I put everything in the download. Well, why don't you be organized? Put some folders and put stuff in them. So click on folder and give this folder call it like C++. So this way, when you save your file, it's going to go in that folder. I do have one because the class before you was C++ 25. I don't have one for the 2026. I thought I created one. So I'll make one C++ 2026. 2026. It says I have one on the screen. I just don't see it. Where is it? Oh, right there. Yep. Thank you. Okay, so now I have a folder that says C++ 2026. So I can save all my files in it. You can see I already have 2 files in them. My Wednesday class, we met twice. We didn't have any cancellations, so that's why they did the homework. They submit the homework. So now go back to my C++ program. I'm going to say File, New, Source File. Now, every C++ program that we're going to write this semester, I'm going to begin with these instructions. Pound include IOStream. Now, the reason for this line, when they created C++ years and years and years ago, it wasn't something this not new. This I just started with the C, C sharp, C++, C++, and all that. When they created it, it was this program. Then they realized we can make it nicer if we add pieces to it. So this one include, it says, what about if I want to read from the keyboard and write to the screen? Oh, let's create a piece for that. So they start adding pieces to it. That's what the pound include IOStream, input output streaming. Back and streaming means get information back and forth. Next one, using namespace std. Namespace standard. This is the names we're going to use, and we're going to follow the standards for naming a file or a variable. int main, curly bracket to open it, curly bracket to close it, and you're always going to have return 0. Every single day when I go try to program, I will start with these. I might add more to it. Return 0. Every program. We'll get to the return. You'll know later why we put in the return. When you have a function, a method, a piece of program returning a value to the main program, to the whole thing, you're going to tell them what you're going to return. But every program that you start is going to begin with this. Every single time. Now remember, we created that folder on your desktop. So I'm going to save this to my desktop. Am I going too fast? Sometimes I feel like I'm warmed up. I get up early in the morning at 5 a.m. I was in the gym at 6:15 to 7:30. Showered, did 3 classes. So that's my 4th one. I'm one of those hybrid people. I can't just sit, you know. I don't want to sit, especially at my age. Once you sit down, everything starts to break down. So I keep moving. So file save as. Notice if I go save here, and the machine says, where do you want to save it to? Now, if you're not sure here, you go, I didn't tell the machine, so I'll wait on that. I'll go close it, go File, Save As. So you got to tell the machine where you want to save it to. You can select this PC, select your desktop, and you should have the folder we just created there. Spring, where is it? C++, Spring 2026, right there. Select, put it in that folder, and let's give it a name. So right now, this is called untitled. Now, me personally, I save them by the date I create them. So today's date is February 2nd. Feb 2. So that I know it's gonna save it in my folder now. So now going forward, every time I make changes, just click on save on the top. You don't have to go save as. What should we do a program on? How much time do we have? I got 10 minutes. What should we do? What should we do?
It's numbers.
Adds numbers? Okay. Let's say I want to find the perimeter. I got a rectangular shape. It has length, width, and the perimeter is what? Twice the length plus twice the width. And I'm gonna print that. That's it. So I gotta tell the machine I have variables to use. Now we're gonna decide. There's a variable for the length. That's a location for the length. There's a location for the width. And this is a location for the perimeter. What kind, these are numbers, right? Are we gonna use decimal numbers or integer numbers?
Decimal, because you can't,
If you're not sure if it's gonna be decimal versus integer, always make them decimal, because if it's 15, it makes it 15.0, big deal. But if you say it's gonna be decimal and you go with 15.7, the machine is gonna stop and kick you out. So nope, type mismatch. So these are decimal values. And again, how many decimal places you want to use? 10, 20 decimal places? You can use double, you know? So let me begin. I'll use double. Double. Oh. That's just going to go on the top of the program right here. So first, you know what? Let me put some comments in the program. Let me explain what the program does. And if you're going to do multiple lines of comments, an easier way to fix that instead of, because every line you got to do this, every line. Well, instead of doing that every single line, if you go /**, then you can do multiple lines. So this program will get the length and the width and width of a box. Well, a box has a height too, so of a rectangle, I guess. Is going to calculate the perimeter and is going to print the length, width, and perimeter. And that's the end of the comment. So it's reverse asterisk slash. So if you have a lot of them to write, instead of /// at the beginning of each line, that's one way to actually avoid that. You could still do // at the beginning of each line if you don't want to do that.
You could also use this on the homework submission for a question, like to write you one code on one paper and then have question 1, question 2, question 3.
You can, yep. So for example, this question 1 here, right? You go like this. Question 1. And let's say down here, and you finish with question 1. Now you want to do question 2. You go question 2. The machine doesn't even look at them. This is not for the machine. This is for you and I. So you can put your program for question 1, for question 2, for question 3. The only problem with that there if you decide to do it that way, it's gonna be a little problem, because when you run that, the machine says, you're supposed to have one of these. And if you're gonna copy all of this, including and put them here and using this, if you decide to do that, you're gonna have a problem. Watch this.
You go to execute it, right?
Yep. Let me copy this.
Only have one name.
Yep.
So that's why I was asking, can we use the first one
So
to make it not confusing for the computer so we can run it?
you can run the first one. When you're done with it, make another one. And you can attach all four of them separate. Or squeeze all the code inside this. And go, this is for the first section, this for the second section, this for the third section. You know,
With the comments?
you can put the comments and modify, yeah. Like here you can say, this part is for section 1. Question 1. Q1. You know, and you put all the stuff there, make it print and everything. Then somewhere there, it might be question 2.
No, we go to execute it, because run all.
Run all of them. Anything from the beginning to the end. And then run everything up from here to there. Again, might be easier at this point just to do each one separate and save them to your folder. When you go to submit, you submit all 4 of them. I'll show you how to submit in a second. Remind me before I leave today, show you how to submit. Okay.
Just a general question
Yeah.
about this. Why is the purpose of teaching a C++ first instead of something like, Python?
If you are a mechanical engineering student or industrial engineering student, they still want you to do C++. The reason, the equipment's really old and it uses C and C++.
Thank you.
Yep. And also, if you're a computer science major, they want you to know more than one language. So they say, take Python, but it's nice to know C++. Take Java or something else, you know? So they want, and once you understand one language,
Yeah.
so for like, I teach Java somewhere else, we teach Python here, we teach Java, we stop teaching Java. Because UMass, we follow UMass said Python. But for computers, for mechanical industrial engineering, they still want you to use, in civil engineering, they still want you to use C++. The equipment is very old and expensive too.
Yeah, I know the C's at work are all programmed in that kind of.
Yep. So let's begin defining the variables. So let's see. We're going to use double values. We said for them, double. And length, you can write length if you want to. Width. And perimeter. That says I have 3 variables I'm going to be using. One is the length, one is the width, one is the perimeter. So actually on homework number 1, just to answer the question, does it include the include statement? And they have like slashes there. It says goes right here, include. So you're going to write that statement there. Then the second question, include using namespace. And they have a place where to go. So you're going to write that namespace. Return 0. You're going to write that line. int main, you're going to write that line. So if you look at homework number 1, question number 1, they're actually just going to be typing this with minimal stuff in the inside, you know. They might say define one variable as double, and we tell you which variable to use, you know. So this like 1 and 2. Define a variable right there. If you got more than one variable. Let's say you have a different variable that's type integer. I'm not using, but just an example. If I have another variable integer value, int, what? Age, you know. So I can put all the variables there. Every line ends with a semicolon. Now to get the length and the width, you can actually say length equals 15. Width equals 10.5. I'm assigning the values. So here, I'm assigning the value to the length. Assign value. That's what this one does. And I can calculate the perimeter. I'm almost done. Oh, undo. And I can say perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. There's a problem here. Well, it's not a problem. Every time you run this program, what's the length going to be?
Always gonna be the same.
Always going to be the same. Do you think if I gave this assignment to all of you, I say, write a program to calculate the width and the length, do you think your number is going to be 15? His number is going to be 15? Her number is going to be 15? No. So probably not a good way to assign. There's certain times you want to assign values like pi. We know pi doesn't change. 3.14. Doesn't matter when you look at it. So there's certain things that don't change. We use the assignment statement. So, but for this one, this is not a good practice. So I'm not going to delete it. I'll just leave it for you. But I'm going to block it. I'm not going to do it that way. I want to be able to allow the student to type in their length and width. And to do that, we're going to use the read statement. So if I go CN, that means read. CN, length. That says read the length. CN, width. This will allow me to read. I still don't like it.
You're not gonna know what you're inputting, right?
Exactly. So when I go, by the way, this is the compile and run. Here is saving. I didn't click on that. This is compile. This is run. Compile, it takes the program, checks for syntax error. Run, actually, start plugging numbers in it and give you the result. Or you can do the third one, which is compile and run, does it all in one shot. Give it a minute. And notice the machine is waiting for me. It's waiting for me to type something. But if somebody just walked in, they have no idea what the machine is doing. But it's waiting for me to type the length. I'll go, it's 15. It's waiting for the width, 10.5. Then it's going to calculate that area. Bless you. So this is not really good. It's not user-friendly. Will be nice if I told the machine, write this. So here we go. I'm going to make it user-friendly. C out. C out. C stands for the language we're using, C. This is coming out of the computer. This is going into the computer. C in the computer. C out, coming out. So this will show up on the screen. If I say C out, the direction is backward. Enter length. Enter the length. And a space. And it's going to wait for me there to write the length. Read the length. C out. Enter the width. Now this will be a nicer one. Let me save it. Let's see. CN. Oh, yes. One nice thing about the software, if you make a mistake, they'll tell you made a mistake, and they'll tell you what's wrong with it. So save it again and run it. Enter the length. Notice now I can see it's looking for the length, 10.75. Enter the width. 8.47. It does calculate the perimeter, but I don't see it. So what happens here? The reason I don't see it, I never told the machine to show the result. So let's do here this section, show results. Do you want to show the length and the width? See out. Length equals. And let's put the length after that. Plus. Oh, not plus, that's Java's plus. Length. Notice I have the first length in double quotation. That tells the machine print whatever inside the double quotation. You're going to see the word length, space, equals space. Now it's going to go to this one. It's going to put the number right there. And maybe space and width equals, and let's put the width. And perimeter equals, and let's put the perimeter here. Perimeter. Semicolon. I will add one more thing, but that's all right. If I save it and I run it now, enter the length, 10.5. Enter the width, 1.7865. Here we go. Length equals 10.5, and width equals 1.5, and perimeter equals 24.5. And it goes to the next line. If I want to put spaces between them, I'll type in end L at the end of each line. Like if I wanted to put color spaces after that, I'll go end L, end L. And what that does, bring the cursor down once, twice. Two. When I start coughing, then it doesn't stop. Length is 10, width is 6. We know the perimeter is what? 32 now? And notice the two spaces. The dotted line here, this is actually what C++ puts there. It tells you it took the machine 9.26 seconds to execute this program. But the dot, I told the machine two blank lines here. That's what you see, and L and L. Go to the next line, go to the next line. You can do it before you see the result too, if you want to. So if I want to see it before I see the result, I can go, before I type in length here, equals, I can go end L, end L. The outline, yep, is getting big. The good news is you actually can break it anywhere. It doesn't change anything. I can come back here and, oh, come on. So I can move it down here if you can't see it. Now, instead of end, if you're gonna do like 3-4 lines, end L, end L, end L is silly, you know? So there is a newer way of doing it, and that is /n, that's new line, /n. That gives you 2 new lines. So instead of end L twice, you can go /n/n. Same thing right here. But those has to be in double quotation. /n/n. I'm going to do it 3 times or 4 times. I'll drop the cursor 4 times. Boom, 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 boom. Save it. And run it. You're going to see actually, after I type in the length and the width, 18.75. The width is 15.29. The cursor is going to drop 2 places. It's going to write the length, the width, and the perimeter, then drop 4 places. There's the 2 places that drop in the cursor. Then you can see the information, then 4 places drop after that. Okay, I just didn't realize the clock is that time. Whew. I was having fun. Okay, so this is actually, this recording is done. I will post it once I get it back from them. And if you look at week number 3, maybe I'll put it with week 2, because that's really from week 2, the information. So maybe I'll put week 3. Today is week 3. Week 3, video 1, you know? And on Wednesday, when I meet with the class, I'll do week 3, video 2, you know, and I'll put them there. So if you keep looking there, yes. You can come anytime to the labs. Yep, you can come to all 3 of them. Yep. As I said, the labs are to answer questions. So I know one of the kids showed up early, asked me a question 2 days ago. I said, wait till the lab. He's on homework 2. He finished with homework 1. He's in homework 2. And I said, wait till the lab. So on the lab, he'll bring the questions, I'm sure. And I'll be answering questions from homework number 2, not homework number 1. You know, yes.
So lab is mandatory.
None of them mandatory, you know. I'm just giving you the opportunity to meet with me, ask questions. Again, just like some people like to come to the class, and some people hate coming to the class. Some people like on Zoom. There's many people hate Zoom because it put them to sleep. So if you're one of them, that's why I decided to have the class in this room for the people who want to come in to the class and ask questions and feel like part of the class. That's great. I'll be here. Tuesday, I'll be actually in 306. Yes.
So our labs are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Well, there's an invitation for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Yes.
Okay, so.
But you schedule for only one of them. You schedule. But I send you the invite for all 3 of them. Yep.
What if we like after the labs pass?
Once you can hopefully you want to come during the lab and ask, because it's really difficult. I'm the department chair for the engineering and physical sciences. So I got biology, math, chemistry, physics, computer science. They're all my programs. I leave here and I go to a meeting. From meeting, I go this, I'm on that. So just to meet with people like outside the class, the labs and all that, it is difficult. Sometimes it does happen.
Not by meeting,
But
maybe email.
yeah, you can email some, you know, I'll try to answer them, but it's not easy to answer, especially with the programming. If like, is the assignment due this week? Yes, I can answer that. But like, how do you do this one? That's not as easy to explain in email versus in a class setting. So if you have any questions, the best way to really bring them to the Zoom meetings, you know, and ask them. That's the best way. If you want to like understand it, you know. And I will highly, highly recommend, do not use ChatGPT to write the program for you. The ChatGPT does a good job. I will know quickly if you did it with ChatGPT did it. You want to ask ChatGPT, how should I approach the program? What logic should I use? That I have no problem with it. Because ChatGPT will say to you, maybe you should get the length and the width first, then calculate that. So it's not writing the program for you. I have a lot of people last year, they have a project to do at the end. There is a project to do in this class at the end of the semester. And that project worth about 20% of the grade. So you want to make sure you can do the project, not ask ChatGPT, hey, how do you do this project? You know, because I'm going to be asking you a question about the project. How'd you get this? Why did you do this? You'll know actually when you use, I'll know when you use ChatGPT. Let me put it this way. I'll know quickly. Sometimes on the first homework assignment, people use ChatGPT. I said, listen, if you really can write this program the way you submitted today, take the challenge exam. You don't need to be in the class because ChatGPT just covered every single thing that we cover in the class. So if you know all the material, then you're wasting your time. So we have ways of knowing, you know. Any other questions?
So we didn't miss any due dates, right?
Well, the homework assignment was due a couple of days ago, but I'll leave it open,
Okay.
you know. But homework number 2, actually, we have one due this week too, I think. Is it due this week? Let me just take a look. The second
I
one.
just thought I saw, the only thing I saw was something for 2/7.
Yeah, the first one, homework 1 says it's due 2/8.
2/8, homework 1.
Yeah.
So 2/8, so you're still good then. Yep.
The second one was, I think, 2/14.
Is it the reason I didn't do anything the first homework, the first week? Anyone knows why?
People are gonna drop.
Correct. There's people adding and dropping till the last second. 2/7, yep. Thank you. So it's due 2/7. I guess it was not due. It's due 2/7. So if you didn't submit your homework assignment,
Thank you.
no problem. You have till February 7th. And there's 4 of them there. And to submit them, actually, just quickly to show you. Come on, there we go. Hopefully I didn't close the system. There we go. I'll show you how to submit. Let me log in student view. Be like you. So when it's homework 1, and you did all 4 programs separately, that's fine. So you click on this one, and you go homework 1. And let me move this one up. I'm sure it's somewhere in the bottom, probably. Oh, this is I already submit mine, so I got 100 on it. But down at the bottom, it says attach. You'll see. This item, everybody graded this item. So let me just go homework 2. Homework 2. It tells you when it's due. This item is not graded yet. Where is that?
I think it should be in view instruction.
View, where's the instructions?
Black button on the right.
Oh, on the right?
Later.
Oh, here we go. And this is the homework. So you can see the homework assignment. That's the homework assignment. And save and close.
So do you just want us to submit?
And there's your submission in the bottom. See it? Yep,
Or
yep.
do you want us to-
No, the 4 programs that you have, you can submit
Yeah.
your actual files and then go save, then you go submit. So if you have 4 of them, you save the first one, then you go, so again, attach the second one, next one, the next one. See that little attachment? Click on that attachment, and it tells you what you have to download.
I wasn't here at the beginning of the month, so do I need to download to what?
Oh, if you go to a class information, I think the first tab. Let me actually stop the recording here.
Downloads, the C++ window.
Yes, you're welcome. You guys all set online? In the lab, yes, if you have questions, yeah, come back here. No, you can work on it. You know, if you have your laptop with you and all, they can work on it. Sure.
Just out of curiosity.
Well, we have a computer lab. Unfortunately, we can't be in it this time. Somebody else during our class time has it. So we used to have 3 computer lab, but they